We are given the equation of a line and we are asked to graph this line. Well, when we look at this equation, the first thing we realize is that it is in the form of the slope y-intercept form of the line, right? In other words, it's in the form of y equals mx plus b, meaning that m is the slope and b represents the y-intercept. So the first thing we need to do before we graph this line from the equation, the first thing we need to do is to identify the slope. So let's collect our data first. Okay, so our slope is, in this case, it's 3/4, right? Our slope is 3/4, and our y-intercept is, we look at this, it's -2, right? The slope is 3/4, and our y-intercept is -2. This equation is in the slope y-intercept form. So now, once we have collected our data, now we are ready to graph this line. So let's move up a little bit. So the first thing we need to do is, on our grid, we plot the y-intercept, meaning we plot -2. The y-intercept meaning the point where the line crosses the y-axis, right? So let's plot that. It's b equals -2. So we look at the grid. Here's our y-axis. Here are the values below the x-axis. So this is -1, -2. So this is the point first. So this is the point where this line is going to cross the y-axis at -2. And now from that point onwards, we apply the slope, which is 3/4. If we know that the slope is equal to rise over run, that means that our rise would be 3 and our run would be 4, right? Notice too that if the slope is positive, then we expect the line to be increasing as we move to the right. In other words, we expect the line to go in this direction, right? If the slope was negative, it would decrease as we move to the right. So that means it will be in this direction. Okay. So once we have plotted the y-intercept, now we need to apply the slope, which is 3/4. So what we do is, from this point onwards, from the y-intercept, we count 3 up because it's positive, right? Our rise is positive, so it's 3 up. And so from here we count 3 up. So 1, 2, 3, and then we count 4 to the right. Because it's positive, we count to the right. So 1, 2, 3 up for the rise and 4 across. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's our next point. And we continue doing this pattern, right? So once again, 3 up from the y-intercept, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 across. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our next point. And then we can draw a line right here using these points, or we can draw 2 more points, just to make it easier and more precise, right? But 2 points are enough to draw a line, right? And then we put our next point, right? So here's our next point. This is what, 4, 1, and the next point turns out to be 8, 4, right? So then we got a straight edge, and then we can draw our line. Yes, so let's use this green, and you can extend it, right? You can extend it, put an arrow at the end, and then we can simply write the equation of this line, indicating that this is the equation of the line that we just graphed. Let's look at another example. And that is, let's look at this line. Y equals -1/2x plus 5. So same thing. We know that it is in the form of y equals mx plus b. And so we should collect our data, right? Our slope is -1/2, right? And our y-intercept is +5, right? So our slope is -1/2, which is the same as saying 1 over -2, and our y-intercept would be +5, right? So let's use the same grid as our previous example, right? We're going to do the same thing. We're going to first plot our y-intercept. In this case it happens to be 5, so we look at our grid and let's plot our y-intercept. So it's 5, okay? We plot it. Then the next thing is we need to apply our rise is -1 and our run is 2. So from this point on, since our run is negative, right, then we move down 1 unit. We move down, so we count 1 going down, so there, and then 2, our run is 2, so we count 2 to the right because it's positive, so 1, 2. Right. Now mind you, as mentioned before, since our slope is negative, we expect the line to be decreasing as we move to the right. Right? We expect the line to go in this direction when the slope is negative. When the slope is positive, like our previous example. Alright, so now that we have 2 points, we can, plot a few more. If you like, you can even go in the other direction as long as we're consistent. And then grab our straight edge, and we can graph our line. Right? Okay, we can put our arrows on the ends of each of the line, and then we can write the equation here to indicate that this is the line that we just graphed. This is the equation for the line that we just graphed. Alright, and we can show this as well. Alright, that's all.